From Robert Pattinson absolutely hating playing Edward Cullen to Jamie Dornan feeling extremely uncomfortable playing Christian Grey, these are some of the biggest Hollywood actors who hated the characters they played. For starters, it's Robert Pattinson, who despised playing Edward Cullen in the Twilight movies. You may think that Robert loved playing the sparkly vampire, but you'd be dead wrong. In fact, Robert hated playing Edward so much that he almost got fired from the first film. Can you believe it? The guy who made us all swoon with his brooding looks and intense stares almost lost the role that made him a household name. But why did he hate it so much, you ask? Well, according to Robert, he wanted to make the film a bit more artistic. He was only 21 at the time, so you can't really blame him for being a bit pretentious. He probably thought that he was the next Vincent van Gogh of acting, but the creators of the film didn't appreciate his emo portrayal of Edward. They wanted him to be more of a traditional romantic hero, not a mopey teenager. So they gave Robert an ultimatum: either change his performance or get the axe. Luckily for the fans, Robert managed to pull it together and keep the role. And even though he hated it, I can't deny that he brought a certain charm to Edward that made him such an iconic character, even if it was for all the wrong reasons. But he's not the only star that completely hated the character they played, because Jamie Dornan couldn't stand playing Christian Grey either. Yeah, Dornan wasn't too keen on playing the role of the BDSM-loving billionaire. Not exactly a shocker, is it? In fact, Jamie felt so uncomfortable about the whole thing that he almost didn't take the role. And who can blame him? The movie was already being criticized before filming even started. The last thing he wanted was to be associated with a project that was already being panned. To make matters worse, Jamie wasn't even the first choice for the role. Nope, that honor went to Charlie Hunnam. Jamie was relieved when Charlie was cast because he didn't want the pressure of playing such an iconic character. But the relief was short-lived when Charlie dropped out, leaving Jamie to take his place. Let's be real, his hesitation is totally understandable. I mean, playing Christian Grey was no easy feat, especially when critics and viewers were quick to bash him for his performance. But Jamie soldiered on, even if he wasn't exactly thrilled about it. But because it's the role that made him a big star, he doesn't regret being a part of the franchise. So while it may have sucked at first, it opened up more opportunities for him in his career. Though the same can't really be said for this next star. Yep, it's Ryan Reynolds in Green Lantern. I think it's pretty obvious that Ryan is a talented actor and an all-around funny guy, but even his charm and charisma couldn't save this absolute flop of a movie. And it's not just the fans that are in agreement. Ryan himself has never been shy about his hatred for the role and the movie itself. In fact, he's been known to call out the poor CGI effects during his performance in his later movies, like Deadpool. Ouch! Despite Green Lantern being an iconic character in the DC universe, the movie was a total bust after its release. So can you really blame Ryan for hating it? The script was weak, the acting was subpar, and the special effects were pretty laughable. In fact, Ryan's hatred for the film was so strong that he refused to watch the finished product for years. It wasn't until a decade later that he finally decided to give it a chance. And what did he do after he watched it, you ask? Well, he took to Twitter to poke even more fun at his performance and the movie itself. But hey, I can't blame him for trying. Sometimes things just don't work out. Though, now with the DCU back on track, James Gunn has a Green Lantern series planned. Maybe Ryan could end up cameoing on that show and really bring things full circle. Plus, much like Ryan, another star both hated the movie they were in and the character they were asked to play. And that's Dev Patel, who didn't want to play Zuko at all. If you're a fan of the Avatar: The Last Airbender franchise, you might already know that the live-action movie adaptation was, well, not great. And it seems like even Dev can't get himself to sing any praises for the movie. During a Hollywood Reporter actor roundtable, Patel opened up about his experience playing Prince Zuko. He said that when he watched the finished film, he saw a stranger on the screen that I couldn't relate to. Yikes! But it's not just the final product that made Patel regret taking on the role. He also talked about the pressure of working on a big-budget studio movie after the success of Slumdog Millionaire. Dev said that he felt overwhelmed and like he wasn't being heard on set, and that's when he learned the power of saying no. It's clear that Patel has a lot of respect for his craft and doesn't want to be pigeonholed into roles he's not passionate about. In fact, the whole experience of playing Zuko was so bad for him that he pretty much moved away from doing big studio films. So, I guess as big of a disaster as that movie was, at least it helped Dev realize his passion for the indie filmmaking scene. Now, sometimes stars may end up hating the character they play because of the response they got from fans. At least, that's what happened to Penn Badgley for his role as Joe in You. Now, we all know Joe isn't exactly a good guy. In fact, he's pretty much irredeemable, as Penn himself has admitted in an interview on The Today Show. He's capable of stalking, murder, manipulation, and abuse. So it's not exactly the kind of guy you would want to bring home to meet the parents. Despite this, many fans of the show have developed a bit of a crush on Joe, which Penn isn't too happy about. I mean, come on guys, he's a murderer. What's there to like? While talking to Vanity Fair, Penn discussed the second season of the show and how he further disliked Joe as a character. He mentioned how Joe was always going on about how he wanted to show people his real self, and when he finally gets the chance to do so, he's still totally unlikable. I mean, you can't blame Penn for feeling that way, can you? What must make it more difficult to deal with is the fact that the fans just keep dreaming him up as some kind of ideal lover, when in fact, he's just a stone-cold killer. And finally, this next actress was stuck playing a character she hated for 6 seasons of a TV show. Yep, it's Evangeline Lilly as Kate on Lost. She didn't hold back when sharing her thoughts on her character's development. While on the Lost Boys podcast, Evangeline was asked about her character's journey throughout the 6 seasons of the show. She talked a lot about her character Kate, and let's just say, not a lot of it was pretty. She started off by saying that she always thought Kate was obnoxious. Lilly later clarified that she didn't feel that way at the beginning of the show, but as time went on, she found Kate more and more predictable and annoying. One of the things that Evangeline disliked the most about Kate's character was the fact that she became less autonomous and started chasing after 2 men on the island. This irritated the actress, who believed that Kate had her own story and journey to explore, independent of the men in the show. Of course, it's hard to deny the role helped open more opportunities for her in Hollywood, but sheesh, playing a part you don't even like for so long sounds like hell. But those were all the actors who hated the characters they played.